Welcome back to Alpha Recap, your after-hours rundown of what moved markets. Quick note before we dive in, if you have questions about anything we cover today, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai and use the Q&A feature. Let's jump in.
Good to be here. So what really stands out here is two big product milestones that drove Friday's briefs. One in electric vehicles and one in grid storage.
Right, and to lead with the headline, GAC reported a huge export push, and HiTHIUM cleared a major safety certification for a big battery system. Both of those were the day's market movers.
Let's start with the car news. GAC said March shipments of 17,031 own brand units and first quarter cumulative sales of 42,165, up 86% year-on-year.
86% year-on-year is not a small blip. Analysts were pointing to the AION-V and a breakthrough in Hong Kong as the main drivers. So yeah, export traction is real here.
I mean, when you step back and look at this, it signals a move from consolidating at home to building footprints overseas. That applies pressure to other Chinese EV names that have been focusing on exports.
Exactly. Trade shows reinforce that. The Guangzhou Trade Fair had more than 5,000 exhibitors, and nearly 94% of them debuted new products. That's a packed product pipeline. Shanghai Fashion Week also climbed to 4th globally in the Vitality Index, which shows demand isn't just cars, it's consumer and luxury flows too.
Which connects to supply chains. If exports pick up, you get more demand for parts, logistics, even shipping services. That's where the CIFF story becomes relevant to the auto narrative.
Yeah, right. So for listeners, the things to watch were order books, follow-on export stats, and automaker commentary. Showing up at a trade fair is one thing. Converting that interest into purchase orders is the revenue step.
Short reactions. Big pickup, more competition, and supply chain ripple.
Let's pivot to the energy headline. HiTHIUM announced that a 6.25 megawatt-hour battery energy storage system passed a large-scale fire test and won international certification. That matters for long-duration energy storage, LDES, in a big way.
That certification lowers technology and insurance friction for utilities and big commercial buyers. In plain English, projects become easier to finance and insure once a product proves safe at scale.
Exactly. Banks and developers care about bankability. Demonstrable safety shortens procurement timelines. And because this was a KHA-level long-duration module set, it actually positions the company toward larger grid deployments.
So, what really stood out was the scale. A system that size with certified safety is a gate opener. As more vendors clear safety hurdles, procurement could accelerate for the whole sector.
Quick reaction. Certification equals lower execution risk and potentially faster project wins. But, and this is important, we still need to see commercial order announcements to convert validation into revenue.
Totally. Watch for project awards, contract details, and exactly which jurisdictions the certification covers. Those details determine how widely the system can be used.
Now on fintech. An India-based firm rolled out a MiCA-ready, AI-driven white-label neobanking platform for European institutions. For context, MiCA is the EU's Markets in Crypto Assets regulation. Being ready for that is a compliance shortcut.
Right, and the pitch was that a MiCA-ready platform shortens time to market for banks and exchanges that want to offer crypto services in the EU. It's a compliance by design selling point.
Antier's platform is AI and Web3 enabled, which could reshape partnerships. If traditional banks outsource to white-label providers instead of building in-house, that has implications for public fintech firms that currently supply infrastructure.
Open questions here. No client names, no pricing, no contract values disclosed. So it's a readiness signal, not yet a revenue story.
Switching gears to governance and legal noise. There were insider sales and class action deadlines that clustered around the Good Friday holiday. That combination can create outsized reactions when markets reopened on Monday, April 6th.
The big insider move was a chief lending officer level sale of $1.3 million in shares at one company. And another director sold $45,985 at a different company. Those kinds of disclosures tend to get attention.
Insider sales can reflect personal liquidity needs, but analysts often watch for follow-up activity. And then there were class action deadlines for two companies, one with a deadline on May 11th and another on June 1st, which add legal overhang risk.
Quick monitoring tips we talked about: check SEC Form 4 filings for the sales specifics, and keep an eye on court dockets for those class actions. That's informational only, by the way.
Community note: a local charity golf event raised $136,250 for a regional youth organization. Not market moving, but it's a reminder of corporate social responsibility and local brand goodwill.
Fast reactions. CSR can matter to ESG-minded folks even if it doesn't move a stock price today. Repeatable community engagement builds brand resilience.
Let's synthesize. Pattern 1. Chinese exporters are scaling internationally. GAC and trade show data point to a coordinated push beyond domestic markets.
Pattern 2. Product validation is moving from lab to market. HiTHIUM's fire test and GAC's export figures both show things clearing technical and go-to-market hurdles.
Pattern 3. Regulatory readiness is a competitive edge in fintech. A MiCA-ready platform is a selling point that could affect partnership economics across the sector.
Pattern 4. Legal and governance events are underappreciated sources of near-term volatility. Insider filings and filing deadlines clustered around a holiday can amplify moves.
Rapid-fire recap of the key numbers we mentioned. GAC March shipments were 17,031, and first quarter totals were 42,165. That was up 86% year-on-year. HiTHIUM system cleared a 6.25 megawatt-hour fire test. Insider sales included $1.3 million and $45,985. The charity raised $136,250.
And a few quick things to watch when markets reopen after the holiday. Look for follow-up comments and export rollout detail from automakers. Commercial orders and certification specifics from battery makers. Named client wins and contract sizes from the fintech provider. And any filings or court notices tied to the class actions.
Also, remember U.S. markets were closed for Good Friday, so there was a holiday effect on liquidity. That means Monday trading could have amplified moves as flows caught up.
Final takeaways. Product market validation is advancing in two transition stories: Chinese EVs pushing outward and grid-scale storage clearing safety hurdles. But conversion into sustainable revenue still requires order flow, contract wins, and client disclosures.
And a quick risk reminder: this digest is informational only. It does not constitute buying, selling, or holding advice, nor personalized investment or legal counsel. Analysts note these signals to help identify catalysts and risks.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by how neatly those two big themes, exports and storage safety, tied together today. Two different sectors, same underlying pattern. Validation leading to potential commercial acceleration.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay, closing. If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. Catch you next time on Alpha Recap.